Welcome, welcome. Episode number 255. I am Soldier Santos Jr. out of Stockton, California. We're going to be starting here in under a minute or so. So I welcome you. If it's your first time here on my broadcast, I'm going to ask you respectfully to Soldier Scribe. If it's your second or third or fourth visit, I'm going to ask you to participate. I'm going to ask you to take note and then take action. So welcome, 30 to 45 minutes here. I'm going to do my best to support you in looking for your solution. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to listen to you on this broadcast. I'm going to do my best. And today's topic, so get in. Today's topic is, have you identified your FTs? Get in, make sure your seatbelt is on nice and tight, lock the door. Please turn down all distractions that are unnecessary and get ready to take this ride. It is, as Jim says. So welcome. We are broadcasting live, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and my friends, community, soldiers, this program will go on as long as I can support you on the other side, as long as I can help you find a solution, as long as I can help you on the other side find a direction, this program will exist. In the event that this program dries up, no more people want to come, I've become too boring, what have you, the program shuts down, it dries up, and I must move on in a different direction. I must accept my failures if need be. If need be, I must accept my failures and move on. This is life. Auto Magic, welcome. Let me see, we've got an audience here, and I don't know where you're at, but you're out there. By the way, I got a proverb that I'm going to be reading too. Auto Magic, there we go. Oh, Auto Magic, your dedication to help us is God sent. Thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that. Good evening, Santos. Good evening to chat. And we have, by the way, I do have a proverb coming up. And Jim, welcome. 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 And to the rest of you, invisible men, invisible women, welcome to our podcast. At the end of this broadcast, I want to do something special, just a little token of my appreciation for somebody. I got a little bit of a special journal I'm going to be sending your way, completely free of charge. I'm going to pick one person at random. Hopefully you'll respond. I will need a shipping address, okay, unless you are outside of the United States. Then you have to pay for shipping. But within the US, I'll send you this little journal. You can see it here. Okay, 5 minute. It's pretty cool because it's got a little note inside from me. A little note there. Just a little note, little chicken scratch. And then it's got some little things that will help you. Just a little guide, a little mental warfare winner here. All right. So I want to do this. I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of weeks. I've got a couple of these that I'm going to be giving away. They're really unique looking journals, and I happen just to get a handful of them. So I'm really happy about this. Yeah, hopefully I can make somebody happy with it. Anyways, going on. If you have a question, I would definitely want your question. And I do have a proverb. So I'm going to take a look here. See if you got something. And we're going to watch we got a video. a little short video I want to share with you. You can see it in the background. My friend Nick, he has no arms. He has no legs. I wonder how he how he is alive, right? He doesn't have any arms, and he's got a really unique, interesting character. So I'm going to play him in a little bit. I'm going to bring that video up. Hopefully, I won't get any echoes. Join me in building your faith for a little bit. 30 to 45 minutes is going to go super fast, and we must get ready for Monday. Proverb 91. It's actually Psalm 91, verse 2. This is today's proverb. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. I wonder, what is God's handiwork? Have you ever asked that question? How can we see God's handiwork? Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. Knowledge. All right, that's the proverb for today. So thank you for that. If I don't have a question, it looks like we're just going to get into this video with Nick here in just a moment. I'm going to do my best not to preach to you or to myself. I'm going to tone it down just a little bit on this broadcast because I really want to answer your questions. I really want to see what's going on in the chat if possible. If there is no chat, well, then there's no chat. We'll just play the video. Program will end at 30 minutes and we're gone. Prepared for Monday. You got to be prepared for Monday for sure, because Monday's coming. All right, no questions. Let's get into this. Hopefully it won't echo. I ask if you get an echo in here, please let me know in the comments as soon as possible. Because sometimes it just happens that way. All right, let's get into this. We are going to be
I wasn't ready. I have no arms and no legs, but I'm very thankful that I have my little chicken drumstick here. People freak out when they see me for the first time. It's so cool. I was at a water slide all by myself. Everyone obviously at the bottom of the slide is looking up and waiting for other people to come down. And here I come, and they're freaking out. They're like, you know, like this. And I was so tempted to look at myself and go, what happened? You know? There were times where I sort of looked at my life and thinking, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you keep on concentrating on the things that you wish you had or the things that you wish you didn't have. And you sort of forget what you do have. And there's no point, I believe, in my life where I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, because wishing won't help. But what I've seen in life are just a couple of key principles. And the first thing that I've seen is to be thankful. It's hard to be thankful, man. I tell you, when I was 8 years old, I sort of summed up my life and thought, I'm never going to get married. I'm not going to have a job. I'm not going to have a life of purpose. What kind of a husband am I going to be if I can't even hold my wife's hand? It's a lie to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie to think that you're not worth anything. It's freezing, I can't feel my hands. I love life. You know, so many people come and say, how come you smile so much? And I'm like, well, it's a long story. But it's very simple at the same time. You see, it's very hard to smile sometimes in life. There are things that happen that you don't know and you don't understand, and you don't know if you're going to get through it. You know, you go through your storms in life and you don't know how long this storm's going to be. And today I want to share with you some principles that I've learned in my life that you can use in yours. Being patient is beautiful. I tell you, it's the hardest thing. But I realize I may not have hands to hold my wife's hand. But when the time comes, I'll be able to hold her heart. I don't need hands to hold her heart. You know, it is scary to know how many girls have eating disorders. It is scary to know how many people are just angry at life because of their situation at home and angry at others. It's scary to know how many people actually feel like they're worth nothing. Every single girl right here, right now, I want you to know that you are beautiful. You are gorgeous just the way you are. And you boys, you're the man.
You're the man.
On this DVD, I share my experiences in life,
All right.
how I've overcome challenges, and seen a new, fresh perspective in life. To be thankful, to dream big, and to never give up. I speak to children, youth, and adults about key issues and principles that I've applied in my life that has given me the strength to conquer all that.
All right, let me get back and put this on pause for a minute. I remember the first time I read Nick's book. Actually, I don't know where I saw his first video, and then I bought his book, little tiny book at a truck stop. Actually, he's Australian, by the way, and he's also Christian, and he has no arms and legs. It's just he's an interesting person because he had to train his mind. He had to train his mind in order to be where he is today. He had to take control of his emotions, his emotional state, and his mind state in order to be. Imagine, we have no idea, unless you're in his shoes, you have no idea what this man would go through. Okay, we've got arms and legs, and so anyhow, one thing that I can take away, that I will honestly continually take away, is to be grateful in spite of and because of. To be grateful in spite of and because of. In these dark times that you and I are living in, and they will get darker. Yes, they will. They will get darker. You and I, our work is to become a beacon of light. A beacon of light. And that's how you can't become a beacon of light unless you identify your FTs. Do you know what your FTs are? By the way, do you know what FT is? Focus thief. Focus thieves. Jim and I were speaking about this on the last broadcast. It's kind of made an impact on me. Focus thieves. Right? Have you identified? That's the topic of this broadcast. Have you identified your focus thieves? Can you identify two of them? Can you identify two focus thieves that you know are they're thieves? They're robbing you. And now you're beginning to see it a little bit more clearly. Yeah, that's a focus thief over there. That's a focus thief over there. Once you identify, at least now you have, maybe 97% higher success rate, 98% success rate. Identification. All right. Welcome, Emily. Welcome. I see you have a question that you asked there. I'm going to get back to you. Good evening, Santos and community. Yes. Why should we see Nick any different? What a mind should makes you want to go out there and live your life, enjoy the outdoors. I remember the first time I seen Nick, he really made an impact in my life, because I don't know too many people. Of course, I never met him personally, but I don't know too many people like Nick. There's a lot of people that have one arm missing, one leg missing, but have almost all limbs missing. I didn't know a person could actually exist like that, with just a torso. And yeah, so let me see the question. My question, what is it? Placed last bet. Did you know it was your last bet? And what was your financial and emotional state of mind on that day? I'm not too sure. Let's go back. Let me see. I'm going to go back to your question here that you had. Any strategies on how we can prepare for the week? Any strategies you use? That's a good question. Here's what's really unique. The way that I do things is a little different than the way you're going to do things. So my question to you, because it is a good question, what one strategy can you find in your life that you haven't taken advantage of? Can you sit down right now with a piece of paper? Can you take a moment right now to reflect with me and just sit down and write one strategy that you know? In fact, you know the strategies that are best for you better than I would. I'm just a good sounding board. I'm just a good coach, right? I'm not the guy that cracks the whip. You're the person that cracks the whip. Any individual that's a mentor, a coach, a teacher that is cracking the whip, the coach is there to guide you. The coach is there to support you. You must crack your own whip. If you can't crack your own whip, then you have a dilemma going on. You have a focus thief in the way. And that focus thief is robbing you blind, literally and physically, because you can't move, right? And it's hard for you to think. So figuratively and literally, that focus thief, whatever it might be, the one strategy. Now, again, we have to take action. We can sit here and talk about a lot of these things, but if we're not willing to take action, we're wasting our time, right? I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I hope and pray that people that come to this podcast, I hope and pray that you walk away with something that's worth coming back again next Sunday. That's my goal. That's my hope. That's my inspiration for you. I'm already walking the walk. Do I have challenges and problems? Man, you don't want to know them. You don't want to know them. Nevertheless, I'm not here to talk about my problems. Every once in a while, I'll bring something up. I'm here to talk about yours, right? And as I mentioned, I am going to be giving away, this is a really cool little journal, the 5-minute, it's called the 5-minute gratitude journal. Give thanks, practice positivity, find joy. And within the pages, you've got some guidance here. I'm grateful for. Today, I will conquer and overcome. Hey, today's priorities. What were the 3 big wins today? My biggest challenges and lessons I learned on Sunday from Your Solution podcast. I'm going to be giving this away. In fact, I already know who I'm going to be sending this to. I already know. I'm going to be sending this to Emily. Hopefully, Emily's in the United States. I said I was going to pick a random person. It's already come to my mind. I want to send this to Emily. So please contribute to this mission. Also, I got a favor to ask. It costs me money to be on the airways. It costs me money. This program right here, this streaming program right here, I pay $250 a year to keep this thing going to help all of us. Now, this year's budget's a little tight. I'm going to ask if you can contribute. I don't care if it's $2. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $55. If you can contribute to help keep this mission going, that's where your donations over the next few weeks or months are going to go into to pay this bill. It's about $255 for this platform. I've been paying this for the last couple of years. You know, it's like $500. It costs me money to do this mission, and I enjoy this, but I'm asking for those of you that can and will support those that are supporting others. I'm going to ask you to contribute. Okay, that's all. That's it. So Emily, I'm going to need an address. You can send it to, that's if you want the journal with my little note inside. Let me see. You can send it to, you can send your information to, oh man, I'm losing it here. Santos, get it together, man. Get it together, Santos, you. All right, where am I at here? Uh-oh. Banners. There we go. So you can send it to soldiersofselfmastery.com. You can get my email there, or you can get my email right below. All right. I want to know that I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Those of you that have contributed already, those of you that have given donations, I appreciate, and I truly hope that you're getting something out of this, because if you're not, don't give a dime. Don't give a penny if you're not getting anything out of this. Okay? Fair enough? Fair enough. Thank you guys, by the way, ahead of time. So, hopefully this answers your question on strategies. I mean, we can dig this. We can go 7 layers deep on this. But you guys already know what my strategies are. You already know most of them. And one of my major strategies is journaling. I really, truly enjoy. I'm not going to say I love journaling because it's a discipline, but I enjoy doing it because it's magical and it's a form of therapy. Journaling is a form of therapy. I believe this 100%, what I'm about to share with you right here. With 2 items like this, you can literally begin transforming your life immediately. Immediately, very quickly, with 2 items. You don't need to go and get your head bumped, right? You don't need to get hit with a sharp brick between the eyes. You don't need to lose a limb or all your money, right? Your bank account. You don't have to wait till your bank account dries up to begin making changes. You can grab a piece of paper and a pen and begin writing out your life. You can begin writing out the man or the woman that you want to become. Write it out on a piece of paper. Not doing it is a focus thief. Not writing out the person that you want to become, not writing out the person that you want to express in your life, not writing these things is a focus thief. And that's why many people are stuck in the situations they're in, because they're not willing to take action. They're not willing to take action. So Emily, there you go. Hopefully you'll be able to send me your information, and I will do my very best to get that of no charge sent directly to you, so you can have a journal, and a special journal, that is not just any journal. That's a special journal because it's coming all the way from Cali. Okay, any more questions? Let me see. Time is moving. My question, let me see. My question is, when you placed your last bet, did you know it was your last bet? And what was your financial and emotional state of mind on that day? I'm not sure if I can remember this, but I do recall the last few times. Yeah, the last few times it was a struggle going into the casino, because I knew that I was pulling away from the casino. I knew that the aroma that was there in the casino was no longer a pleasant aroma to me. So even the last few bets that I placed were like, man, this does not feel right anymore. This does not feel right. And I had this really strong, powerful feeling that I was not going to be returning. I had this strong, powerful feeling in my spirit that I was not returning. And how did that come about? Because I was going through a lot of activity. I was doing a lot of life hacking. I don't care what it was. I was experimenting with it. Hey, if it could help me get out of the dungeon that I was in, why not? I'm already dead. I'm already dying. So why not write in a book? Why not change my speech as much as possible? Why not pay for some coaching that would help me if I could afford it? I remember one time I went to a coaching program. I paid $2,500 for it. It's funny. I went to a program and I ended up getting like a $200 tablet from this thing. Well, come to find out, there's a program called the Shark Tank, and I am an inventor. I do have an invention that I'm sitting on right now. I feel like I'm drowning with this invention. I got to renew my patent pending. Anyways, I showed up at this seminar, paid $2,500. It was supposed to be a weekend seminar in Sacramento. And the one of the reasons why I wanted to go there was because Damon, the young black man that is an entrepreneur, he was the inventor of Fubu, I believe, Fubu. And you'll see him on Shark Tank, right? The man with the diamond earrings. He's a short black man, a little heavy set. Well, he was supposed to be there. Well, I was excited, man. I got out of my car. My car was nice and clean. I was looking sharp. I had gotten out of work that day. I think either that or I got off early. And I could see up ahead in the glass, it looked like Damon was there waiting to greet the people coming through the door. Now, this is a weekend coaching program that I paid for, $2,500. As soon as I got close to the door, the entry, it was a freaking cardboard cutout. Would you believe that? And it looked real because those cardboard cutouts, they look real from a distance. And they had it so professionally made. It looked like he was greeting people at the door. I was kind of disappointed. Turned out the whole program was really not for me. It was more for real estate agents, even though I did get a chance to try to pitch my idea, which I fumbled. I made an embarrassment of myself in front of that group of professional people. Anyway, I did it. I got it over with. Did I benefit from it? Did I learn something from that coaching program? You bet I did. You bet I did. Investigate before you go. Do your due diligence. Anyways, that was just one of my escapades or experiences that I had with coaching. So at least here, if someone decides to coach with me, they know that they're not getting a cardboard cutout at the window. They're going to get the real deal. Okay. All right. So, hey, belleza. Let me see. Hopefully I've gotten, again, let me focus on your questions. Belleza fácil. No way. Yes, way. Did I get your question? Let me know if I've been able to answer. If your question hasn't been answered, again, I'm not here. You know that I'm not the wisest person. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the wisest person. I am an expert when it comes to stop gambling. I will say that. I'm an expert there. Some of you on the other side are a lot smarter in many areas than I am. I could use your expertise. I'll be the first one to say it, man. I make mistakes and I do things. That's how you learn, though. So yes, that last bet, that's the way I was feeling during that period in time. Jim, let me see. I got some new. Is it wrong to feel badly about myself and see how Nick does so much more with his life than mine? That's interesting, right? Comparison. Remember, Jim, we've talked about this. And in fact, if you want to come on the screen here, the last 15 minutes, I'm going to open up the screen. If you're available and you want to come on, I know Jim usually jumps on and shares. So I'm going to have you come on, Jim, if you can come on. I'm going to put the link on there. By the way, if there's someone else that wants to come on the screen and you want to share, you just feel free. Okay, this is our community. This is your solution. We must get something out of this, right? You're paying to come here. One way or another, you're paying a price to come here. Just like I'm paying, right? I literally, figuratively, I'm paying a price. You must walk away with something. Don't waste your time. I don't care where you go, who you listen to, as long as you are getting something out of it and you're not wasting your time, then you're in good hands. Don't be like Mr. Mayhem. You guys remember Mayhem? The guy that crashes through the windows and smashes the car into the tree or causes a flood. And then he'll ask you, are you in good hands? Allstate commercial, Mr. Mayhem, right? You don't want to be a Mr. Mayhem. And we all have it a little bit. Okay, you're welcome. Do you have a question, Belleza? By the way, like that. Belleza, do you have a question for me on this broadcast? Feel free to ask here. or you can always send it to the email there. Um, Santos is the only one I found. Wow, this is really inspiring. Santos is the only one I found on YouTube that is genuine. I appreciate that, Nick. And I pride myself on being accountable because it's true. A lot of people out there are fake as heck. They're fake. There's a lot of people out there that talk. They can, man, they're really good with their talk, but their walk is not credible. And I'll admit, me, I have my faults. Listen, I come here seeking. I come to this broadcast seeking because tomorrow, hopefully, I'll make it into tomorrow. And I need solutions, right? I need motivation. I need inspiration. I need to be patient and I need to identify my focus thieves. I need to know who they are, what they are, and I need to know where and when. Get good at this. Get good at focusing on who they are, your focus thieves, where they are, and when they begin to really show up. Become a warrior in this area. It's I'm working on GABA, the Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Advance. That's what it's called. It's no longer called the Breakthrough Academy. It's called Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Advance. It's mental warfare that I'm teaching the problem gambler to realize that you are in a mental battle. It is a warfare of a deep kind that you're in. It's one thing that I talk about very diligently on that broadcast, on that podcast, or that boot camp that's coming. And it is coming. GABA is coming. Um, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. Jim says 10x rule, Grant Cardone. There you go. Belleza does have a question. I'm putting up the link if you want to come on. Let me see, is that it there? If you choose to come on the screen, I believe that's it there. Yeah. Have a good camera. Make sure that you should have a headset because if not, it begins to echo. So we'll give Jim the opportunity. A lot of you enjoy Jim sharing, and I do too. I appreciate Jim. He's the only one that comes on the camera with me. While I see more and more channels promoting gambling, you are one of the few that talk about stopping gambling. Yes, yes. This is a no, if you look at the top there, right there, this is a no gambling zone. My goal and my mission is to create a no gambling zone for you so that you can step into that no gambling zone and experience the energy of no gambling. Once once you experience the power of understanding that yes, you can, that gambling is a lie. It's not, gambling is not a lie. It's all of the rewards and all of these benefits that people think they're going to get from gambling. That's all a lie. Once you recognize this, you become powerful. And that's the goal. The goal isn't even to try to quit gambling. The goal is to get your mind strong and to overcome within, so that then little by little, that overcoming will spread out like fire into all these other areas. Because believe me, I know that you have addictions, not one or two, three, just like I do. We all have habits. Some are good, some are bad. Your subconscious is operating right now in the background without you even paying attention. And it's causing things to happen. Why? Because there's habits in your subconscious. There's habits within your unconscious thinking. Your subconscious is pumping blood. It's controlling your movements. It's controlling thoughts. It's controlling emotions. It's controlling blood flow. You got nothing to do with that. That's your subconscious. What else is your subconscious operating without you being aware of it? Focus thieves. Focus thieves. All right, Jim. Hey, we're going to give Jim the opportunity here. We're going to add to the stream. And let me get rid of this thing here. Stop screen. We were talking about focus thieves. Are you on, Jim?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. No echo?
No, I'm
Perfect.
okay.
That's good. So we were talking about focus thieves, and you've asked a couple of good questions. So expound a little bit on what you were sharing there. Um, what was it? Let me see. Let me go back. I think about what I see in Nick. I focus on many things. I focus so much negative, like no arms, and I focus on identifying what I lack in myself for comfort.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about it. It's like why do we look at Nick, as someone extraordinary? Why do we look at him as weird? You know, I see that I am trained to look at him as a different person because I've been conditioned living in this society.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, living in this
It's
society
conditioning.
is, yeah, I'm conditioned. Why do I think of him as any different? I mean, so, it like kind of brings upon the emotion. It's like, oh, you know what? Oh, I'm so grateful about myself. At least I don't have what he has, and I'm doing that comparison. I'm looking at him. It's like, oh, you know what? I have everything, meaning to say that he's less of a person and I'm more of a person. When I get that kind of feeling, I feel like I'm superior. Instead of just looking at him as like a person, just an individual, right?
Mhm.
I get that kind of that comparison right there. We get that comparison. Well, I'm going to compare my life to his. I said, well, he has it so rough. I should be doing better. I should, I have the ability to do so much. You see, it's that kind of comparison thing, and it's a very you can go down a dangerous path by staying in a comfort zone, saying that's like, well, you know what, I'm very grateful at my position, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything because I'm better than him. At least I have arms and legs. I have to be grateful. I'm just going to do that. Or I can take that attitude, saying that, you know what, look at him. My gosh, he has accomplished so much more than me, and I have arms and legs. You know, it's like, is that the right attitude, the perspective, the point of view to see people, in comparing? I don't know. I don't know. And, these are focus thieves. You can go ahead and say that, I mean, I mean, you know, people touch us in different ways, and I have to be conscious of seeing, trying to get my focus on seeing things in the best way, in the best way for myself and for other people. You know, there can be sinister thoughts going in my mind, and I have to dig deep and think about, why am I thinking and why am I feeling, these ways. It's like I see something, it strikes things, it pushes a button, right? Maybe sadness, it could be, pity, it could be envy, you know so I got to be careful. I mean, yeah, I mean,
You
like,
must be. Yeah. Must be careful. Yeah. We must be careful, and uh, we must be careful. But then at the same time, we take action. We keep moving. You know, again, I thought that's a good question, a good thought that you brought up about Nick. I remember the first time, I think the first time I ran into this guy, I was going through some stuff myself. I was, I've battled depression most of my life because I come from a childhood of, domestic violence. So he did make an impact in my life. And my thing that I think about is, I think about the work that he put in to get himself, because he wasn't born with that grateful attitude like that. He wasn't born. It took work for him. I remember reading videos. Well, not reading. You don't read videos. You watch them. I remember watching videos, him sharing his story.
yeah, I know that Nick
Had some
had,
challenges. We all
he had,
do. We all
yeah,
do. But of course, it's a little bit different if you don't have arms and legs.
yeah, different.
Those of us that have arms and legs, we take it for granted. We do. We take, if you look at your hand and you move your fingers around, and you don't realize the work that goes into that.
Mhm.
We take it for granted. It's the same thing with our brains. We don't think about the power that we have. We don't think about the nuclear power plant that we have here. So we take it for granted. And what happens? We neglect ourselves. We get into we again we focus on the thieves.
Yeah, I mean, we're so distracted by what we're born into, the way things are supposed to be normal. Um, we kind of forget that, power shifts. If you really think about it, think about a blind person or a deaf person.
Yeah,
They might not be able to have those senses, but throughout their life, their power shifts somewhere else. If they're deaf, right? If they're, their sense of sight, they can,
yeah,
it's enhanced, right? There are other senses that are strengthened. Um, I'm thinking that, it's like we can enhance our powers somewhere, but um, I know I have a feeling that we have a tendency to see what we don't have a lot when we compare.
yeah.
I don't have this, I don't have that. Woe is me, kind of like that victim thing. Um, I know that Nick, that guy had good parents. He was raised
Yeah, it could,
well, and that definitely helped. I think that
yeah,
definitely
good
helped him.
foundation, definitely.
Yeah, good foundation.
Hmm.
But everyone has these kinds of, has their own personal challenges, and you know, they're all important to that person. We can't diminish, the things that the problems that we have. Um, but yeah, I think just comparisons are just those focus thieves. We just compare our lives to everyone else,
Yeah.
and we say, we just go down a victim road mentality.
It's horrible. It's we it's like the monster inside of us. There's a monster, like I call it sin. The Bible refers to it as sin, dark nature. Your dark nature, it's in all of us, and we have to master that thing. We have to master, because if not, it rises up. And there's times that your nature, your darkness rises up, and it gets really ugly. It can get ugly with other people, but it can get ugly with yourself
Hmm.
if you're not careful. The focus thieves get in, they distract you from, what, who you are and what you're capable of doing. Because, like Jim, right? Jim, you have your own unique gift. You have a character. There's certain things that maybe you haven't even really tapped deep into yet, but they're there. And it's our job, it's our responsibility to. I ask myself all the time, uh, what am I really best at? Now I have an idea what I am good at. I know one thing for sure. I'm an expert when it comes to stopping gambling. That I know. I may not know a bunch of other stuff, but that I do know, because that's a discipline that I work. Not only did I start working that back in 2014, I work it every day, and it's gotten so easy for me. I don't even think about gambling anymore. Gambling's like a thing of the past. And believe me, it wasn't like that before. So again, you have to find what it is. You got to identify the focus thieves and get them out of the way. You begin focusing on yourself, on your strengths. You begin focusing on those things that you're losing that you need to be empowered with more of, right? We're losing something, but yet that one thing that we're losing is what we really need to be empowered more with. So we need to identify that, and that's like get new construction workers in that area to build that foundation. We have to, because things are not going to get easier. Um, Life is just not getting easier right now for any of us. You notice it's getting, I believe it's going to get, you know, I'm maybe stepping on a limb by saying this, that I want to get your input here. But the United States, I mean, right now there's this thing going on between the West and Russia, and it's starting to provoke China. China is starting to come into the picture. What if all these other countries realize that, you know what, the United States is not going to be able to provide for all of these countries, or can they? I mean, are they in such good health? The United States to provide for Taiwan, provide for Ukraine, and provide for the NATO? Or what's going to happen if the United States deteriorates little by little, more and more, and these countries like China and Russia and Iran, they get together? It's not going to look so good for us. So what do? We live in fear? No, we're not going to live in. I'm not going to live in fear. I know bombs can come our way. People think, nah, that'll never happen. Bullshit. That can happen. It can happen more today than it's ever been. But we cannot live in fear. We must focus on the priority. We must focus on our gift and what it is that we are supposed to be using to contribute to society, to our family, to our neighbor, to the job, to the business, to this mission. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
our
kind of
focus needs to
interesting.
be.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, Santos. It's like what we see on the global scale. That could be a major focus thief, and I have to remind myself, it's like,
Yeah,
there's been evil powers that have been controlling this planet, from the dawn of time, and they're continuing to control this world, in every country, and I guess my definition of evil might be different from other people, but I have to remember, it's like, what am I trying to do? What do I have power over? It's like, if survival is like something, that I have to focus on, well, I have to go through those lowest common denominator, Maslow's, you know, pyramid, right, of needs. Well, money, food, shelter, etc., right? Got to focus on that stuff. Um, but sometimes I think, all this stuff that's happening in the world, are they focus thieves on the comfort zone of not allowing me to focus on what I need to do or what I need to concentrate on? You know, it's like stuff is happening every single moment. Bad things, accidents, people dying. Even in the most peaceful of places. You know,
yeah,
big big disasters are having on a personal level across the world, right?
yeah.
Someone's
More,
world is falling apart.
yeah.
You know,
Especially like in the last 6 months, we've seen a big shift.
mhm.
You know.
What do we do? I guess it's like you have to think about what's going on, and how does that affect your life and people around you, right? And how do you compensate? What are you going to do? And that puts responsibility on our shoulders. you know and you have to ask yourself, okay, so you see what's happening now, the responsibility's on your shoulders. You need to start taking action. Okay, and if you don't start taking action, it's a lot easier to complain about the Democrats or Republicans.
Yeah,
um but really, it could be a focus thief on, or an excuse on not focusing on the person in the mirror. So yeah, sometimes I get hung up on world events, but yeah, I gotta ground myself and remind myself, you know what, this stuff has been happening throughout the millennia. You know, it's tough.
yeah. It is tough, but you know what they say, Jim? When the when when the when the going gets when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Mhm.
I
When you
made that
say
up.
when you say going, right, I have a feeling that, sometimes we get inundated with a lot of information, but that's kind of compensating, that's that's taking up too much room and not enough doing. What I mean? I remember I would read, I would do all sorts of things, all these books, but I never did anything with that. And
Yeah,
I was kind of wondering, it's like, why am I reading all this stuff? It could be just an excuse for not taking action, you know? So what if we got in the mindset of just do it like Nike says, and and just move on, learn from that experience and move on from there. And then I think the last conversation we had was, okay, there's a barrier that prevents us from moving from the thought to the action. You know, all these good ideas, develop all these, get so, get so focused on those ideas, but not so much on the doing. And that's something I need to work on,
That's your
is,
FT right there.
yeah, it's
That's your FT right there, identifying it. In fact, here's a question that I have. I know we're going to be ending. That's a good thought there, Jim. Um, Let me see. What is the benefit? What is the result of you confronting your FT? What is the blessing or the benefit or the reward of you confronting your FT? What is your reward? I know what my reward is. By the way, um, and I really want to emphasize that. What is your reward, your benefit, if you decide to confront your FT, your focus thief? And can you identify at least two of them in your life that you know? Can you identify? Um, Emily, thank you for your contribution. Thanks for the journal and supporting me through this journey that I know I can overcome with gambling. Since attending online meetings on Sundays, I've slowly realized online that gambling was destroying my life. Good. I'm glad. I appreciate you sharing that with me. And remember, I'm sending Emily, for those of you here, I'm sending Emily um, a journal here, a little journal, gratitude journal that she can use. It's got some interesting in the pages and stuff. I'm going to be doing at least one of these, maybe a couple times a month. Really cool. I managed to get a handle of these, and I thought, man, this is a really cool. Somebody could use this. I love it. And there's going to be a little personal note inside when I send it. Within the U.S., that is, unless if you're outside the U.S. and you want, and I choose you on the, you get chosen, whatever, you get elected. If you want to send me shipping, I can send it out, you know, up to you over the U.S. It's just shipping's gotten so expensive. I don't know if you're shipping anything, Jim. I sent something. I sent the book to Australia to a man that was going to prison, and
mm,
it cost me nearly just the shipping. I send the book. It was like $20
yeah,
plus
overseas.
the the other package. So listen, money. We need money. I know I need money. I'll admit it. Do I work? I bust my ass to keep my vision alive, man. I've been feeding this mission. And I'm saying that not, I don't care. I'm not looking for sympathy. Am I looking for support? Yes, I'm looking for support, but I'm also looking to support you. And if you can let me know how I can do that, it's going to benefit me better. So if you can, right, if you can contribute to this mission, we have some deadlines coming up to keep things going. I'm just asking, I don't care if it's $2, $5, whatever you can do, please do it. And I'm going to continue to give. I'm going to continue to do some things. I'm going to be giving some books away too. I've got some, couple of little red books. I'll be giving some of those away. I want to be able to support you if you give. And so I truly appreciate it. I don't care if it's $2. We'll keep this thing going. And as I mentioned earlier, this platform right here, in order for me to use this system, it costs me $250 a year.
Wow.
Hopefully, they won't raise that price. But June 22nd, I've got a deadline of 250 coming up to keep this system, not the mission, but this system that you see online where I can invite guests and stuff like that. So, with that said, that's where this is going, all of it. Um, Now, Jim, so make sure you send me an address, Emily. Last person that came on here, I disappeared. I guess I must have spooked them away or something. I'm just trying to give you something free. There's no catch in it. Or is there a catch? Um, so, yes, Jim, stopping and thinking about where we are and identifying those to take action. Taking action. I can sit here and talk a beautiful talk. You know what I mean? I can elegant. Yeah, I can sing the music or whatever, sing it. But if I'm not taking action afterwards, then what good is it?
Yeah, something has to push us. Something has to push us into action. And I think that's something that we have to kind of stop and think about. What is our push? What will just push us, give us that nudge into taking that action, from the thinking. And like you're showing that journal. I think it's a good idea to, journal. I think it's a good idea to journal emotions. What are your emotions during the day, because
Yeah.
those emotions are the things that drive you to do stuff, right? And you can get excited about doing stuff, but how come I was supposed to do this goal that I had and I didn't do it? Well, why? What were my feelings? What feelings crept up, and where did those feelings come from? And
Yeah.
then you can go and kind of start focusing on those focus thieves. That's a focus thief right there, those emotions, right? Because emotions, you get it, it's like emotion, the thing that gets you into motion, into doing, right? And we
Yeah.
want the good emotions to get us into positive action.
Well, here's the thing about the emotions. The emotions, are the emotions impacting your thoughts, or are your thoughts impacting your emotions?
Hmm. Yeah.
So if you really think about it, it's all about the software upgrade.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's all about the software upgrade that we really need, because if we upgrade the software, it's going to optimize our emotions. And our emotions are like dummy lights. They go off as a signal, right? You don't want to you don't want to get rid of all your emotions altogether. We say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to pay attention to, don't pay attention. No, pay attention to your emotions, because they're warnings. Pay attention to them when they're going off, because even though they'll warn you during things, experiences that may take cause you a problem, but they can also, an emotion can also go off when you're having a good time, when something is going very well. So we have to learn to identify these emotions through the thought process. It really is. And like you're saying, it's a matter of sitting down with yourself and disciplining yourself. The word discipline is not a bad word, by the way. It's a matter of disciplining yourself, just a little bit at a time. Take the journal, challenge yourself 10 minutes for the day. Man, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up. We get up in the mornings, and what do we do in the mornings? What do you do in the mornings to get started with your day? Take 10 minutes out. Challenge. Tomorrow I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to do something with my journal. I'm going to write out something, whatever it is. Maybe it's about maybe it's about your emotions that you're going to write about, or you're going to write about the person that you want to become that you're not yet. Whatever it is, you take those 10 minutes. That's a deposit. Um, that's an investment. I talk about that in the book, the 15-minute mornings breakfast of champions book that I have on Amazon. Take 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. Jeff Bezos, uh, was it Apple, Steve Jobs, all of these individuals, they use 7 to 15 minute segments in the morning. They multiply 45 minutes. Everything's by 15 minutes. What could you do with 15 minutes just tomorrow morning or tonight before you go to bed? You pull out a piece of paper. What could you do? 15 minutes. Just take 15 minutes and do something with a piece of paper and pencil. What could you start? All right, we're going to be ending. Jim, I'll give you a few last words here. I got a last question for you, audience. I really thank all of you guys. It's been a nice audience today. Um, oh, Roxy here. We have a new person that can, Nick, find something you love to do and just do it. Roxy, thank you for hanging out. Um, Jim, when was your last bet? You can answer that one.
Wasn't it on Dogcoin? Probably on Dogcoin.
You
Oh
see
boy.
what's happening with
Oh
the
yeah.
coins?
So you
Oh
should be
boy.
out of crypto today, that's for sure. And
Yeah. So
but anyway,
now here's the last question that I have for you. We're going to do a call to action here. What if you ignore um, from today on? What if you ignore from today on your FTs? What is going to be the result of that if you ignore from today forward those focus thieves that keep popping up here and there in your life? What's going to be the result of that if you continue to ignore them? from today forward. All right. Jim, want to take a minute or two before I do my call to action here?
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's it just yeah, focus thieves. I think one thing that I like to go and say is you talked about this before, and I think it's a good strategy. Really focus on the word hacks. Hacks. How can you hack your life? Strategies to get you in an accountable place, that makes things that you want to do, like those 15-minute mornings, right? Set things up so that it becomes like a system or an automatic system. Have that
Mhm.
book right there, so when you see it, you can start doing stuff,
Yeah.
set up your environment, talk to people, get them in line, say, hey, this is what I'm doing, can you work with me, and remind me, these little hacks. I mean, I do the hack. I wasn't a good flosser, but I just put the floss right outside the shower, on the sink, and I just floss, every time I take a
So,
shower, just floss, so little hacks like that, that keep you accountable, to give you reminders, I think will benefit you, if you want to
yeah.
kind of improve yourself. Just hack your way.
Yeah. Set yourself up. Like you said, create the environment. Like there's all kinds of different things that you can do to keep yourself focused. There are many, many games that you can play with your mind.
Hmm.
So here's my call to action. Um, identify two focus thieves and begin confronting them before Monday. Identify two focus thieves in your life and begin confronting them before Monday. Okay. If you need support, and I'm going to recommend this, if you have a hard time by yourself, if you're not if you're not meeting your goal, if you're not achieving, there's a big focus thief there in your way. You're going to need to find an accountability partner. That's why a lot of people go to Alcoholics Anonymous, they go to Gamblers Anonymous. Of course, they find the wrong accountability partner there most of the time. But you need an accountability partner. Now, if you don't have an accountability partner and you can afford to invest in yourself, something that's going to help you keep your goal and maintain, is a coach. Okay. Do I offer coaching? Yes, I offer one on one coaching. So that is available if you have a hard time meeting your own need and you want to achieve something and you can afford to invest in yourself. So you have to, kind of ask yourself the question, am I willing to invest in myself here to get these benefits? Or am I willing just to risk it alone and just keep going at it alone? Eventually, you might crack the code, but the likelihood is if you're like me, I couldn't do it by myself. I needed help. I got the help, and today it's a whole different story. It's a whole different experience. All right. With that said, we will be coming back Sunday. Appreciate you, Jim, out there enjoying the warm weather in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh
By
yeah.
the way, if you guys enjoy bicycling, if you enjoy sports or some kind of health, Nick would be the person to speak to about bicycling. So, wanted to put that out there. Make sure that we support each other on this community. That's what it's about here. Alliances that support each other during these dark times because we need to be a beacon of light. And a beacon of light is not an easy thing. They have to go through a lot of pressure to be a beacon of light out there. Those lights in the ocean, all the lighthouse and stuff. There's a lot of meaning behind. I'll talk about that maybe on the next broadcast. What is it to become a beacon of light in these dark days? So Nick, uh, thank you for being with us there. Nick also Nick Elston, thank you for hanging out. Emily, appreciate you. Bored and broke doesn't go. And who else was with us? Quite a few people that joined us here, some invisible. Roxy, thank you for hanging out. Auto Magic, thank you. Barry Bob. It sounds like Barry Bonds almost there. It kind of reminds me of Barry Bonds. Maybe he's a baseball player or something. I don't know. And Emily, thank you once again for your contribution. Who else was here that came on? Uh, Belleza, Fácil, and we got Auto Magic. So there's quite a few. Notice quite a few people come and then they go and then they come back. They have their they go gamble for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then they come back. You know, they're broke and they come back to the community looking for support and stuff. And I see it. I see it all the time. It's a sad state, but it's the reality. Um, yeah. So with that said, thank you guys once again. Shout out to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for supporting me. And remember, continue to support this mission. I'll do my best to support you. I'll see you at the top on the inside on my next one. And remember to make every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top, in spite of and because of, Jen.
Thanks, Santos. Hack your way with soldiers of self mastery.
That's
And
right.
Santos.
Hack it with a new packet, or you're going to lack it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks,
All right.
Santos. Have a good
You're
week.
welcome.
Take
All
care. Bye
right.
bye.
Bye, everyone.